Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Well, hello everybody again, Jeff here. We got some breaking news here today about the person at the FBI. After 3 days of running circles around the FBI, they managed to catch what they consider to be the suspect or the person responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, and his name is Tylor Robinson. And some details have come out about him right now, but there's still a lot more coming out about this as this story continues to break. And I want to just throw a shout out here to Lisa B 9956 here. Okay, you commented that I was spreading misinformation. Well, I think what happened here is what we got confirms pretty much everything I said in the last video. Just so you know. That I don't come on here to spread lies. I come on here because I know things. I know things you don't know, okay? Maybe when you get older or something, you might gain that same wisdom that I have, but you obviously are just blinded by your loyalty to MAGA in order to see the obvious here, okay? So here's some of the details for you. They showed a lot of pictures of this guy with his family pictures, and there's a lot of pictures of him with guns. I don't know if everyone else who has been watching this here has seen that, but lots and lots of pictures of him sitting with various types of guns. So apparently, he and his family are really into this thing, guns, okay? So I could see how that would attract him to a guy like Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk is the same, all right? He does pretty much that. His family are registered Republicans. And his father, he's a minister who used to be a police officer, I guess, or some part of law enforcement. And they're of the Mormon faith. And he's got family members in the military. And they said that Tylor's parents introduced him to weapons at an early age, which doesn't surprise me, because a lot of these people in MAGA or the Republican Party, they seem to think that giving guns as gifts to their young teenagers and stuff like that is, it's I mean, I can't think of the guy that there was somebody that got a gun for a present. And he went to school and he used it to do a mass killing. I can't, the name eludes me. There's been so many fucking mass killings in schools that, it's hard to keep track of the names, but yeah, anyway, also the Associated Press had reported that Tylor got into politics recently, and I guess you could say he got in with the wrong kind of politics. He got into the radical extremist side of politics. And it made him, I guess it twisted his head around. He doesn't look like a very old person. He looks like maybe he's in his 20s or something like that. So that doesn't really surprise me there that he would get himself mixed up with the wrong crowd in politics. But they didn't get into any specifics, but it was reported that he had, recently doubted things that Charlie Kirk was saying and didn't believe some things that he said, or didn't agree with things that he said. His family, I guess, had said something along those lines. So that might be a possible motive there for why he went and shot Charlie Kirk. But then someone had reported that Laura Loomer had tweeted, which she recently deleted here, I guess after the shooting. She hurried up and deleted this thing, but people have already seen it and copied it. She had tweeted that Kirk stabbed Trump in the back over what? Okay, I don't know. You'd have to ask Laura Loomer about that, okay? But apparently, perhaps this Tylor Robinson might have followed that tweet and probably felt the same way, about Trump, that maybe he did something that, about Kirk, rather, about Kirk had done something to Trump, okay? So I don't know really what that could be, but I think more information about that specifically will come out eventually. And somebody had, it was reported that Tylor wore a Trump costume for Halloween. So apparently he really liked Donald Trump, okay? And it was because of something that maybe Charlie Kirk said about Trump that really pissed him off, and he flipped. Okay, I know it sounds vague, and I know it doesn't sound like there's, it doesn't give you the sense that why, what's going on, what the hell was it that, okay, because all this is still breaking, all this is still coming out, okay, so you're going to have to keep watching the news to get all the details in order to find out what's going on. And I think we're going to find in this situation that whatever reason Tylor had to shoot Charlie Kirk is not going to be a reason that most logical-minded people like myself would consider to be valid to go and kill somebody about, right? So think about that for a minute before you start criticizing, well, you don't have all the facts. Yeah, nobody's got all the facts right now. We're still digging. The press is still digging, okay? But I don't think we're ever going to find a reason that justifies what Tylor did, okay? Because it only matters to Tylor. It only triggered him. It pushed his buttons. Didn't push anybody else's buttons in MAGA, because he's the only one that did something, okay? So you got to think about that too. Whatever the hell it was that happened, it only mattered to Tylor, because you didn't see a line of people taking numbers to stand up and shoot this guy. It was just him. He was the only one that showed up there to do this. So I'm sure we want to know. I mean, I'd like to know what the reason was, but I don't think it's going to matter at the end of the day. Charlie's still dead, and the reason is not going to matter to those that like his wife or his kid, or it's not going to matter to them about what the hell the reason was. Okay, it's not going to make sense. It's like somebody getting hit by a car, and you find out the guy was drunk. Well, that's certainly not going to satisfy people who are family members of the victim, okay? So, but, Tylor wasn't a black person. He wasn't trans. He wasn't Muslim. He wasn't an immigrant. He was just a white Christian conservative. And I told you in the last video that I would not be surprised, if Donald Trump had ordered this fucking hit, okay? I'm not saying that he ordered Tylor to do it, but I'm saying Trump is trying to capitalize on this. He's trying to capitalize on this in a big way by trying to deny people their First Amendment rights, by saying, well, I'm going to start going after people that speak ill of me, okay? And certainly this shooting, I guess everybody was hoping it was a Democrat that did it. I mean, right out of the gate, oh, it's a Democrat. Democrats did it. They always say that after every shooting, just like they thought it was a Democrat that shot at Trump. And again, it was a Republican. Okay, it's always Republicans that do these political hits. Okay, it's always them. They're whenever it's something like that, they're the ones walking around with the gun, itching for a chance to use it. All right, that's what I know. Okay, because I've seen this story play out so many fucking times. I've learned from history. Okay, I'm sorry that Lisa B hasn't, but maybe after she's lived a few more years, she will see that same pattern that I have noticed, and then perhaps she'll understand where I'm coming from. Okay, and when somebody with experience in life and has followed politics, and not closely, but followed it enough to know or see a pattern in things, maybe then, people say, this is what happens in this country. Violence and politics go hand in hand. Why? Well, because it goes hand in hand in any form of government. Okay? Whether it's communism or authoritarian, whatever you name it, there's always been political violence. So politics and violence goes hand in hand. We can't stop it, because when people feel like they're not getting their way and they're under stress or whatever's going on with them mentally, all of a sudden you got blood on the streets. Okay? And Jesse Waters at Fox sitting there telling people, oh, we need to go to war over this. Again, another mouth, another Charlie Kirk. Okay, that's another guy that's probably going to get himself killed with his big mouth. Okay, he's sitting here trying to ratchet up the fucking tension in this country. For what? What does he gain out of it personally? Nothing. But maybe it helps Trump. Okay, maybe it helps Trump if everybody's thinking about this and not about Jeffrey Epstein and all the shit that Trump has done with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, and the fact that Trump is a criminal in the White House. And our country is being led by this criminal in the White House. Okay, that should be more important, I think, than any Republican mouth that's been, off because he talked himself into his own destiny. Okay, what he needs to do, what needs to be done is we need to continue to focus on the Epstein files, continue to rattle the cage, to continue to do that. Okay, that's the thing that Tylor Robinson would not like. Okay, because apparently he loved Trump that much that he would do this, to Charlie Kirk. So apparently with Tylor Robinson, our president being a pedophile was no big thing. Okay, so this is the reason why we need to be after this guy, after Trump here. Forget about this thing with Charlie Kirk. Okay, there's a billion Charlie Kirks out there. Okay, all hoping to get to take his spot, to be another mouth. Okay, forget those commentators. They are there to do one thing, just to agitate. Okay, and what they have to say is not important. It really isn't. It's not worth the time. What is important is the law. And the law says that things have been done in this country by Trump and Epstein that violates the law, that violated people, okay, that really, he's a guy that we should still be after. We haven't, this problem with Epstein has not been resolved. We still have victims out there talking about this, about, what happened to them, about things that they happened when Trump was around and stuff like that. And look, I know it's hard for a lot of you people, MAGA, that to hear these things, but at some point, you're going to have to jump off of this boat or you're going to go down with it. Okay? I'm sorry that if it makes you look like, oh, well, I'm admitting the Democrats were right about this guy. I'm sorry. Okay? Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. No pun intended, but sometimes you got to bite the bullet in order to get free of the bullshit. Okay? And in order to get free of Trump, you're going to have to admit you fucked up. You shouldn't have supported him. You shouldn't have voted for him. You shouldn't have fucking protected him from these crimes. If you hate pedophilia, and I know all you people in MAGA, are dead set against it, just like a lot of people on the Democrat side are. I don't care what you say about that. Nobody likes that. But for MAGA, you guys hate that. You hate all these sexual deviant things that go on in this country. You people should be the first in line going after Trump's head. Seriously. You people should be the ones going after these Tylor Robinsons and telling them, you're wrong about this guy. You think you know him, but you don't. Trump doesn't deserve your loyalty. Okay? You want to talk about misguided and misinformed, Lisa? Tylor Robinson was misguided and misinformed. That he would sit there and commit a crime for a criminal. Okay? Are you that kind of person? Would you go and kill somebody for that criminal? I don't know what more you could say about this except to just keep watching the updates about this story here, because I'm sure there'll be more to come in. But like I said, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that this has come down to yet another extreme conservative having done a crime, in the name of Trump. Okay, doesn't surprise me. I knew this was going to be, and for some of you, maybe next time you'll listen closer to what I say, because you probably, you're just too blinded. Because I'm not MAGA. You're not going to believe everything I say anytime, any place, anywhere. I don't, fine. But at some point, you're going to have to admit to yourself you're wrong. So the person you should be arguing with isn't me, but yourself. You need to find out why you're supporting this guy. What justification do you have to support a criminal, to keep him in the White House for X amount of time? Okay, you know that we're not supposed to put criminals in the White House. You know this, all right? Because we've had Democrat presidents before, and you've always brought up the issue of, well, they did this illegal land deal and all this shit, and he needs to be impeached. Hey, so don't come to me and say, oh, you're just bullshitting. No, I know you guys think the same way about this. You don't want criminals in the White House, and neither do we. We don't care if a Democrat was mixed up with Jeffrey Epstein. That Democrat needs to go too. Anybody associated with Epstein, okay, they need to be under a fucking spotlight right now. And that goes for Trump. Anyone associated with Trump, same thing, okay? Because they were like, Trump and Epstein were like two peas in a pod. All right, so that's it for today, and have a good weekend, everybody. Talk to you later.